right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much again for joining me. So let me just start to go to journalist Philip Sivanda. Homeboys Philip Sivanda and ABM, thank you for joining very quickly there. When it comes to the situation as it is happening, what is it that you can say to the people at this particular moment? As a journalist, freelance. Dr. Walter Mzembi, I think you know the history. He hasn't been, a very antagonistic minister, a very antagonistic individual in any manner. He has been a very likable character, very, what can I say, very warm character. And now, he came back to Zimbabwe after many years. 8 years, I think, since 2017, if we calculate now. And Dr. Mzembi found himself now in prison. And of course, there has been reports of some dockets. That were there against his name. But now it seems, his health condition is deteriorating while he's in jail. What does it say to the state of Zimbabwe's political, landscape, or judiciary, or politics, and human rights, justice, fairness, and all those things, ethics, and all that, morality? Some may say that he's not the only one who is in jail. There's so many others, and even others have died. You don't think about the people like Itai Zamara and things like that. But what is your take? Journalist Philip Sibanda, when it comes to Dr. Mzembi's situation. Please go ahead.
Mr. Ulu, the reason why I came early was Mbiraze Narira, to be honest enough. That was the reason why I came up because of the that song, I just love that Mbiraze Narira. So, when I came up was just I wanted you to to pick announce the Mbiraze Narira. I am so sorry about to Walter Mzembe. I know Mzembe from Masingo, I feel sorry for what is happening to him. But my question is, honest enough, I don't know why Walter Mzembe had to come back home early. I know that they all had to run away, and I don't know the reasons why they had to run away. Him and the the other brothers. What are those brothers from the from Leo Mugabe's side? What are they? What are their names? Those brothers. What are their names? Can't remember their names. One with dreadlocks. Jonathan Moyo, Xavier Kasuerere. I thought they'd gone out of the country, for their lives. But I was surprised to hear that Walter Mzembe has come back. I won't dwell much into it because I think it's political. But what I can only say, Mr. Olu, was I feel sorry for him. I hope, honest enough, they can help him. Honest enough, if he needs the doctors, I think they can help him to give him a better help on this. But the reason why I came was just for your sing tune you are using for your program,
Yeah.
Mbirazenari.
Thank you very much, homeboy. I still want to ask you another question. As we are having this discussion, because it is important also to ask this question to Flora Ramai. Flora, welcome to the space. When you have heard what journalist Philip Swander has just said now, in your opinion, Flora, was it? What kind of an individual? Is Dr. Walter Mzambi? From the way you would have had experience of him as an individual, and also, do you think it was wrong for him to come back to the country, Flora?
Well, thank you, Hulu. Good evening, everyone. Um, Honestly, Walter Mozambi, you know, in terms of myself, is I felt really sad when I read that he had cancer of the stomach in 2017 when he was going through his trial for after the coup not coup, right? And then he was then represented by Job Sikala, and he wanted to go out. He was given bail, and then he traveled to South Africa for medical treatment. And then I think that's when they started another party here on Twitter. And I used to be, with what's his name? They were co-opted into a party. So me as I am, and I said to him, "How is your cancer going?" And I always used to ask him the same question: "How's your cancer? How's the treatment?" And then he decided to block me, you know. And in terms of that, the law is the law, right? If you, me at the moment, as you
Okay.
see me, Hulu, yeah, I was in Zimbabwe. I was charged with the police. I went to court, and then because I was in Zimbabwe, and then I couldn't go back to court, they give me a summons. And then I had to go through a lawyer to say I wasn't in the country. When I go back, I just have to prove I wasn't in the country. But Walter Mzembi, how he left the country, there is a summons of his arrest in Zimbabwe. There's nothing emotional about this issue. If he's fighting for emotional, it's because people like Jackie wants to get sympathy. But as far as I'm concerned, he lied that he had cancer. I don't remember Walter having cancer treatment. First of all, he has to prove this cancer treatment he had with Job Sekala that he went to South Africa for, right? I don't mind him coming back to Zimbabwe, but we all have to pay back for our crimes that we do in the name of the laws of our country. And as a person who was in government, who calls himself a doctor, he has to respect that laws. Because even you, Hulu, if you commit a crime in Zimbabwe and run away, you'd be treated in the same thing. Yeah, he's a very young man. He's not old. So feeling ill, well, let's see the records that say he's not feeling himself, and if a doctor can authorize that in Zimbabwe in terms of his health, because we don't want to be gaslighted and emotionally blackmailed by people who can't do their jobs properly. We need lawyers who are competent enough to defend people in terms of what they have done and tell us the full story. We don't need this facade of coming up for sympathy from us when we know in 2017 he ran away from Zimbabwe and he knew what his crime was. And he went back thinking he went through the British government to see if he can sort some form of, reprieve. I don't think it happened because he came back on his own accord. He could have stayed with Kasukwere, in South Africa and pretended to be a doctor for all we care. But this is nothing for us to seek sympathy for at all. The rule of law must be respected in this
So,
case. Thank
so
you.
Ramai, if I can, I just ask you, one question, Flora Ramai, in terms of you saying that in 2017, there was, what, you said there was, a crime that he committed in 2017, and he left the country without dealing with that crime. Would you be comfortable, like, sharing with us what sort of crime did he commit in 2017?
It wasn't a crime. Basically, in early 2018, Mzembi was arrested and charged with criminal abuse of office over alleged misuse of public funds during his time as Minister of Tourism. He appeared in court and was granted bail. How he left Zimbabwe while out on bail. Sorry, I'm reading this because it's not my words. 1 minute, because my laptop, when you don't, I usually have the switch thing I use when I want to hide, but I had to remove it. Right. While he was out in from Bell,
Yeah, Flora
Mzembe
Ramai,
was
sorry.
allowed to travel
Sorry.
for medical. Hold on, he was allowed to travel for
Yeah,
medical
when?
treatment.
When? Give the chronology
Well,
properly
he's
so
in
that people
12.
can
It
follow.
was that was in 2018,
That was
right?
in 2018. So,
That's
so
when he
in
left
20,
for South Africa. He was
yes. So,
allowed to
so,
travel for
so,
medical. I remember this
okay.
case, and now
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah. I'm
sympathetic.
saying,
I was very sympathetic to him.
I'm saying we need to move together. So that was in 2018, and
Yes,
President Robert Mugabe was removed from office when?
2017.
In 2017. Okay,
Yes, he
so
was charged. He was charged in 2018, early 2018,
he was
right?
charged in early 2018 after President
Yeah,
Mugabe left
was
office. Is it so?
Yes, and then I remember I used to follow. I think it was on News Zimbabwe, and I really felt sorry that a young man has got stomach cancer, because I've got a thing about cancer, and I felt emotionally involved in his
Yeah,
journey.
but when it comes
Right.
to, sorry, Flora Romai, when it comes to the 2018 issues in court, and President Mugabe left power in 2017, do we have any other reports of Dr. Walter Mzembi getting arrested before 2018? Do
No,
we
no, it
do
was
we
in
have any
2017.
cases of him before 2018?
No, we didn't, because 2018, the whole thing for after the November 2017 was when we did the cool not cool. So we're talking about February, March, when he got arrested in 2018.
All right.
And then
So
he
we
was
agree.
granted, when you're granted bail, Hulu,
Mhm.
when you're granted bail in Zimbabwe, even in the UK, and then you say you're going to another nation to seek medical treatment, that was in South Africa, right? For his cancer. We still have no report whether this man has cancer or not, because I always ask him and he blocked me, right? He actually on that venue, he did not return back, and he settled in South Africa until he came back this year. Yeah. And also in
We
2020,
allow other people
Zach,
to engage with you.
hold on, Hulu.
Okay. All
Let
right.
me give you the in terms of what we're trying to bring here. In 2020, the ZAC and National Prosecution Authority confirmed that Muzembe had fled and was now a fugitive from justice. Efforts to extradite him have either stalled or been unsuccessful. In his own statement, Mzembi maintained he's not a fugitive, arguing that he left legally for health reasons and that the charges were politically motivated. Right? That's his defense. So now we come and say he's not feeling well. It's more like a repetitive of the, modus operandus that he has used in the past. Right? I don't know if he's guilty of what he's been charged for, but he could have got it out the way in 2018 and live peacefully like all his G4 teammates, right?
Or can I just say something, then I drop down,
Or
if you
still
don't mind, brother?
freelance, you can.
My sister Ruramai, thank you very much. I just want to ask you a question. Two questions. Do you feel any sympathy for somebody to say, um, of course, I'm arrested, I'm in remand or in prison or whatever, but I'm not feeling well. Regardless of the history, if that person says, I am not feeling well, my blood pressure is not right, I'm not feeling something is not right, regardless whether you think that person is not telling the truth or not or telling the truth, do you think this person must be given the first preference to be treated outside that remand or whatever, or that person must be kept because you assume that that person is faking the sickness? Do you think Mzembe should be given that preference to go and seek medical attention? Then, if everything goes well, they take him back. Do you think he has got a right to be treated that way?
I think he's allowed to bring his own any of his own medical team to come and verify, and the government has the right for him to choose someone who is independent to verify, because we still don't know if he had cancer. None of you people here can say that Muzembe in 2017 had stomach cancer. Can you? So if a
How can you
person,
deny
I'm
that?
not denying it, because I asked him himself and he blocked me off his Facebook, because I was sympathetic that, oh my God, he's got stomach cancer, only to find out that he was lying. If he has cancer and he's got a doctor who can prove his medical history, I'm not saying I'm not sympathetic. If he's genuinely ill, I think there's ways where you can get house arrest in Zimbabwe, where you can be monitored by a guard at your door every day. And that's up to the law to decide that. But I feel like, when a man cries, when what they call is you cry wolf once, but now no one believes you. And I think they're using the same operas, that was used by Sikala in court. And I followed that. Clearly, I did. That's why I've got no sympathy. I
I'm
have no
dropping down.
sympathy.
My last question. I'm dropping down. My last question is probably Zimbabweans who are here who love to know how much do you know each other? Do you know each other on social media? Do you come together from the same community? Do you were you speaking as relatives, or you just met because of political? For him to come out and tell you, do you know if somebody has got something like cancer? There are very few people who come out and say, of course, I was diagnosed with cancer. How do you know each other? Where did you know each other? How did you come across to know each other to a point of thinking that he was going to disclose his sickness to you? That's my question, which you can answer when I'm
Uh,
down for the other people to
Freelance,
join.
you are a journalist, aren't you? This is public knowledge. This is nothing that I've made up. Mozambique publicly, through the courts, the justice system in Zimbabwe, through Job Sikala, he declared that he had stomach cancer and needed the permission from the courts to travel to South Africa for treatment. I didn't make this up. You can Google it. It's not personally. He was the one who made this public information, not me. Job Sekala was his lawyer, and he was granted that, and he didn't come back.
All
And
right.
then after 3 years, in 2020, he was seen by the law as a fugitive. And I cannot now tell whether he's playing his old games or not. Thank you, Hulu.
All right, Flora. So wait, so that we can have an engagement. ABM, I was supposed to come to you, but since you will probably speak in the same line as Flora Romai, it might make sense for me then to bring balance, and then I'll be coming to you. So let me just go to Ometa, and then ABM, I'll come to you after Ometa, and then we go to Sabuku Dobbs from Chirezi. And welcome to the space for all those that are just joining us. Thank you very much for joining me, Hulu at Pachiso Live, as well as Rudolph Robo, the Hot Seat Empire. This, of course, is about our people. It is about our country. And this is yet another day and another hour. We have an opportunity to discuss these issues. So, Dr. Walter Mzembi's health situation, I think, is well documented, even in South Africa itself. So Ometa has just fallen. Sorry. Maybe his network is a problem. Is Ometa still in on the space, so that maybe if he's on the listeners, he can be able to hear what I'm saying. So Dr. Walter Zambi's health situation, has been recorded even in South Africa. And Brother Dobbs, before I go to into ABM, the question will be: would you regard it as a wise decision for him to have gone back to Zimbabwe, or you know the justice system in Zimbabwe itself in terms of his incarceration at this particular moment? What is your take? Because according to the submission of Flora Ramai, the issues to do with the allegations of abuse of office only happened after 2017. And before 2017, we never had Dr. Mzembi having been accused of anything that warranted him going to court. So when when people complain that this could be a political prosecution, can we judge that to be wrong to think that way? I mean, Brother Dobbs, Sabuku, go ahead. Sabuku Dobbs, are you there? Hot seat, can you hear me? Hot seat, can you hear me? Flora Romai, can you hear me? I want to check my network.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry, Hul, I can hear you. My button was refusing to unmute. I can hear you. Sorry.
Has fixed his network now. So if Sabuku Dobbs is there, but Ometa is going to speak now, and then we go to ABM, then we go to Sabuku Dobbs. Sabuku Dobbs, are you there? No. So Ometa, you had fallen there. So please go ahead, and then we go to ABM, and we'll check up again with the Sabuku if he's there. Do you think it was a wise idea for Honorable Walter Zambi to come back to Zimbabwe? And what is your take with his condition with his health condition in prison. What do you think should happen now, Ometa? Right, Ometa cannot unmute himself.
Oh, Meta, can you hear?
Oh, there we go.
Yes,
There
yes, I
we
can hear
go.
you guys.
What is
Can you
going
hear
on
me?
with your network today? Because your network is always very good.
Oh, sorry. I just received a call, so
Oh,
it cut
sorry.
me
Okay,
off.
go ahead, Ometa.
Oh, yes. Walter Mzembi kudzoka zvake mukanwa meshumba. As you were speaking earlier on, the introduction, you did mention kuti haana kumbobvira amboita problem nemunhu. Well, haana kumbobvira amboita problem nevamwe vanhu, but anga neproblem nemumwe munhu. My elections, he picked a side. He picked a side. His G40, very good friends apparently with Kasukuere. And then, just recently, you air out your opinions about Mnangagwa and his team. You're well known to be Team Kasukuere, and then you come back here. What do you expect? It's a political thing. It's not rocket science. It's straight to the point. Why would you even come back? Look at Jonathan Moyo. He's languishing in Kenya. Look at Kasukuere. He is in South Africa. Look at Joao. They're all out there. Mandichman is baking mabanzi kuMozambique. Iwo ndiwo zvita champion oti unodzoka. Mugabe akataura wani kuti Mnangagwa does not forgive, nor does he forget. So you think just because munobva kumwe chete kumasvingo area uko, your sins can just be washed away, you come back, you sorry, and then life goes on. No, that team, they don't forgive. It was a very unwise, I don't like to call it dumb, but miscalculated move. You know what I mean? Very naive of him to think kuti he can just, because he's not trustworthy. If I was Mnangagwa, let me play the devil's advocate, and then somebody who is supporting somebody that wants to topple me, and they say it openly, and then 2 days later they say, no, I want to come back, sorry. I mean, already I don't trust you. Why are you coming back? Do you want to finish me from within? What is your agenda for coming here? You're not trustworthy. You have to suffer. And we know the MO, Mnangagwa. We don't forgive you. We do not forgive. You have to suffer. So he's just going through it. Whether he's sick or he's pretending or not, or whatever it is, but this was obvious. Had he not been locked up, it would have been something else really. Kuti haana kusungwa asimutengesi kani. Asi zvezvaasungwa kachiona manje zvaitika, chaanga chitsvaga kuno kuchii, chaanga chitsvaga chii. Ameno Kasukuere wacho pawanga akagara vese akadi kumudza kuti shamwari kwauri kuenda kuko ukawana zvinokuwana usazondifonere. Jonathan Moyo kari kutodawo kuuya kumba, haakasi kukwanisa kuuya kumba because kanozviziva kuti pane shamu ine munyu yakamumirira, yakatomumirira iri kutomuda chaizvo. Iwo wodzoka uda zvita champion, chiona manje zvawapinda muzvimajeri apa tiri muwinter, ukurohwa nechando, zvimajeri zvedu zvine tsvina izvi. Kana tukurwere tunotanga kubuda miscalculated. Say judiciary, forget about that, hazvishande. How many people have been arrested over petty stuff? Then there comes Mzembi, who is well known to want Kasukuere to be in power as a G40. I mean, really, like, who does that? Like, do you have to be somebody who's a doctor or a scientist for you to know that you don't come back? Gara kwauri ikoko kuone freedom yauinayo shomanini, ona manje izvezvi chiona zvaitika izvi. I mean, really, was he expecting people to just say, oh, welcome back, sorry, let bygones be bygones? That is a lie. It's a dream. Ask Kasukuere, he will tell you. Chiona manje
So
totangira
in
papi
terms
zvori
of what
izvozvo.
others may think on matter, we may get your argument, but what about you in terms of your opinion on this situation? What what do you think have happened or should happen?
In a democratic, stable nation, all things being fair, you come back, we do the procedure the right way. Hausungwe unovhunzwa vhunzwa wotambira zvako muarea uchiuya uchiripota kukoti uchipinda pinda mukoti uchibuda uchiita sei. In a proper country, but we know our country, it's authoritarian. You cannot. Hakuna chinhu chinonzi judiciary. Judiciary iri kuprecap. Zvataurwa kuprecap ndo zvinoitwa. Hakuna judiciary. I mean, so now he's only suffering, and also him being somebody who was in the system. This system is just a continuation of what has always existed. But now it's now exacerbated because avepo wacho ndiye elder weutsinye. Saka wasangana manje nemuridzi wesystem yacho iyoyo, the real craft. Saka now now look at this. It's not right, but it is happening, and you should have known that it was going to happen. Zvinhu zvagara zvichatongoitika izvi. Ari kutongosafa hameno chaazviunzira kuuya mukanwa megaro rakavhura mukanwa kudai so. Nhunzi dziri kupinda iwe uri kuti hanzi handoda kuona kuti rinovhara here, kuti ringandivhare here, kuda kutesta mawaters. Apa wo wakatomakwa uri kutozikanwa zvawanga uchiita before pamaelections apa, uchimirizikana kasuku here wako muG42, rovhara muromo wotanga kuchema uri mukati. Ndo zvagara zvichaitika, ungoda kuti zviitwe. Ndo zviripo, as simple as that. I yield my mic.
All right. We will have others engage with that on matter. Let me just go to ABM before I go to Sabuku Dobbs from Chirezi, and then Tapiwa, freelance, and Ramai. I'll be coming to you shortly. So ABM, I mean, in terms of the character of Dr. Walter Mzembi, I mean, we can say he's. I mean, he the way he carried himself as a minister, even during the time of President Mugabe. I mean, can you describe him as an antagonistic individual in any way? How would you describe his character as an individual? ABM. Baba Chiez, are you there? Okay. You see, this connection in Toronto is giving us a problem. Baba
Hold
Chiez.
on. IBM?
Yeah, he has fallen. So let me. He will be coming back. Let me see if Sabuku Dobbs is back now. Sabuku Dobbs from Chirezi, are you there? Sabuku Dobbs. Okay, let me go to Tapiwa. Tapiwa, are you there? Oh, yeah, Sabuku is here. All right, Sabuku. So here we are. Your homeboy, Walter Mzembi, is not feeling well. What is it that what is your take on this whole situation? Sabuku Dobbs from Chirezi.
Yeah, it's a sad situation because we are only know the news that he's not feeling well. We don't know what is happening in regard to his treatment. We understand if somebody is on remand, he is even supposed to have a choice of his own doctors. Dr. Mzembi is one of those who can afford those private doctors, but we don't know now whether he's being given that opportunity to choose his own doctors to treat him, or he have become so ill that he can no longer have that mental capacity to think for himself. The sad thing is, it's something which was talked about by the like Susan Muntami to say, once he come back, when he comes back to say, definitely he won't survive for 2 years. It's still there on Twitter and on other social media platform. Where I don't know where Susan Muntami is pinpointing somebody to say those plans are there to eliminate him. So we don't know what ever is going to happen. But our prayers are with Dr. Mzembi, and we just wish him a quick recovery. And we also wish to say if there are close relatives around, they can take him to better medical facilities instead of relying on those ones for prisons. Thanks a lot, host and co-host.
Yeah, Sabuku. I mean, I want to find out from you. Do you think it was naive? I mean, for Dr. Mzembi to come to, I mean, to back to Zimbabwe, and also, in terms of his, I mean, his personality, his character as an individual. We know that in 2018, according to Flora Romai, you see, he was. Accused, or we can say there were allegations of abuse of office, but that was in 2018 after 2017, after President Mugabe was removed from office. There has never been any records before then of him going to court for any of those issues. In terms of those allegations of abuse of office, do you find those to be political allegations, or to be, I mean, something to, I mean, something that we can regard as normal? Was it a no? Are those normal allegations, or you can classify that as a political? Uh, I mean, I don't want to use the word persecution or prosecution. I want to say as a political issue. Maybe I will be saying it better that way. Sabuku Dobbs, is it a political issue or is it a legal issue?
Both. Only the allegation is a legal issue, but what is happening now is now a political issue. But if you are on the opposite side, then you are caught outside law. Just understand to say your treatment is different. For those ones who are on the ruling elite, they get that treatment where they don't get detained for so long. They enjoy the right to bail, and they can use mental illness as a way of escaping. But for Mzembi, the biggest mistake he made was to come back to Zimbabwe. That is it's not only his problem, but that problem normally associated with those ones from ruling elite. To say once they taste the bread, they only think about bread, and they can't really survive a lot outside Zimbabwe. And that issue would just push them to come back. We wish those ones who are still on the elite side, they should push for that accommodation to say things can be that right to bail can be awarded to everybody. Because when it was denied to people like Job Sikala, people were trying to justify it. But now you can see there are now number of those ones from ZANU-PF side like Chimombe and the Mbofu and then Mzembi, they are now being denied bail.
Mm.
But as for Mzembi, there's that legal reason to deny him because he's somebody who have run away and gone abroad just for cancer treatment, but he never come back until recently. So it's a bit complicated for him. But the fact is that those ones within ZANU-PF was talking about it to say once he come, now he have come, he won't survive for 2 years. We just we no longer raise our eyebrows but our shoulders. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Sabuku Dobbs, when you come back again, I want to find out in terms of the impact this can have in terms of our body politics. I mean, do we need to be in this kind of situation where if you are in power, the one that is not in power will not be allowed back into the country or will be treated in this manner? And then we are going to have a situation like that when another leader comes, we have that situation, another one comes, we have that situation. ABM, is that the type of situation that you want to see in your own country, where if I am in charge, then you are my opponent, and I mean, you have no chance of probably getting a fair treatment. I mean, so to speak. Others are alleging that he has not been getting like a fair treatment. What is your take, ABM, when it comes to the situation? Go ahead.
All right, wonderful. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. You had fallen off. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, wonderful. Great. So, first of all, I would like to see a country that upholds the rule of law, we have a constitution, we have a law.
Firstly,
Uh,
you greet people, right? Baba
Ngati
Chief.
good day. Oh, you didn't hear me. No, no,
All right,
sorry.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Ngati good day, Maskat Maskara say Maneru, especially to all the beautiful ladies out there, say, Wanana Ulu, say Madarang, I hope everybody is doing well. It's all love. Um, so first of all, I just wanted to say, um, Walter Mzembi, since he jumped bail, he's been. If you look at his posts, they have not been really positive towards Zimbabwe. That's number one. Number two, I would like to see a country that upholds the rule of law. All right. Walter Mzembi was given the human right, the basic human right that we all request, which is the right to bail. He was given bail, and bail is something that you sign up on. You put a signature on it, and this is a legally binding document. And then when you get given that bail now, you decide you're just going to stay over there, which means number one, you probably lied about your health. Then you go into exile, you decide not to come back. And while you're out there, you're busy fighting the hotspotting the fight against Zanupia from wherever you are. All right. I do not personally see what he was thinking, even coming back, knowing his actions. I would give Jonathan Moyo a better chance of not being incarcerated than him, because at least Jonathan Moyo has written a letter by Guerrero, and you know what? He has just been himself. But when it comes to I don't even want to call him doctor, because that was proven not to be true once again. And this guy has abused our trust, the judicial trust, because anywhere you go, there is no place on earth where they will give you bail twice. When after the first time you violated that bail condition, and then you sat in another country talking bad about that government, right? And then the last thing, we have all seen how these people play. This has become an old and used playbook. Remember when Hopewell was incarcerated? We heard that Hopewell's health is deteriorating so much that he might die. Um, Remember Job Sikala? When he was in jail, we heard that his health was deteriorating so much that he might die. And just more recently, Dada Blessed Musanga, we heard his health was in dire straits and he might die as well. But guess what? Job Sikala came, Nedumburake, speaking like Mandela. That's the only sickness that he had. His voice, and his accent. That's the only thing. Right? We go to Blessed Nutanga. Guess what? Chichakabuda. He came. His power press conferences. Ezano. Akuto kikritsana nanamtrangwa. And we forget kuti munhu anga atombonyora tsamba achiti ndakufa. And so this has become an old and used playbook of these opposition. They want to say it's politicized. No, it's not. And go and I don't think Kuti people that have been detained and then they go in front of the judge, that the judge will ever accept faulty evidence just to sentence you to years in jail. Go and face the music. So no, I'm sorry to say, this whole health thing has been used and abused by people who want to politicize their arrests. Mike Chimombe is in there. Moses Mpofu is in there. Okay, Manguma Big Data and Mike Chimombe with his skinny ass off. I would expect him kutambo chema anitika. Like I'll be like, we will make sure mum with that has all. And make sure my pennies are produce it, because he looks like he might die. But we have pictures of him eating all sorts of foods, everything. It's just stomach cancer. We know what stomach cancer limits your dietary options. But no, this individual, he's just missing calamari. Chete chete. That's all I think. Those stomach cancer yake kana kukunzi ndo kurwara kwake. Because I personally don't believe it. He has never documented it. He has never ever tried to even tell people about, hey, kana wina stomach cancer is no zaunoita. Semuna no rwara also. Because I have a friend that actually passed away from stomach cancer. Right, rest in peace, DJ Sabats. Right, that was such a sad thing to see somebody succumb to that. But then we go, you know what, freelance, I don't like it when you're putting up your laughing emojis when I'm talking about somebody that's dead. Okay, and you're supposed to be a journalist. But anyways, what we do get is that people who just think that Zimbabwe's law can be abused. Nekuti vanomva vangoti ZANU-PF has done this to me. No, Walter Mzembi is accused of corruption. He's accused of misusing money for the Ministry of Tourism, and he should go and face the evidence and prove his innocence in the court of law instead of running away. If he runs away, almost came back before the elections. Asaka, he thought twice. He knew. Because when you have a case, whether it's 20, 30, 40 years old, that case will still be open. Don't get in natural weather. No.
Okay.
Thank you. But
All
yeah.
right, Mabashir.
Mr.
Let's
Ulu,
just
Mr. Ulu, I
let
want to drop
Relax.
down. I want
Wait,
to drop
freelance, I
down.
have not finished. Please, yeah. Drop down.
No, no, no.
no
I want to say
ABM,
something.
ABM. No, don't do like that. Okay.
No, but do
Freelance,
not
go
go
ahead.
text out in
Okay.
Um,
Freelance.
my brother, APM, we have never fall out, and we are not going to fall out. I've been into the game for a long time. The space they gave us some emojis so that if there's something, it's a sign of communicating when I put those images. So emojis, sorry, emojis. When I put those emojis, when you are preaching about somebody who is meant to be not well, regardless of whatever, when you speak about somebody who is saying, I'm not well, you are not a doctor. You have never seen whether he is telling the truth or like what Ruramai was saying, assuming that I think he's not. But when you are talking about somebody's relative and you say, oh, whatever, you have to put the emojis to tell to show that you are becoming too extreme, honest enough and sincerely speaking. So my question to you, my brother IBM, is when he arrived back to the country, was he arrested straight away at the airport or whether he came by road or whatever? How did they arrest him? Did they give him 2 days or to report to the police station? What happened? You tell us. Did they have the what do you call that thing where you are the police? What do you call it? Wulu, when the police is it of arrest? What do you call?
Warrant. A warrant of
What do they call
arrest.
it? A warrant of arrest. Yes. Did they have the warrant of arrest that remember when somebody is arriving probably at the airport, probably they'll be knowing the passengers as soon the aeroplane arrives. So did they arrest him on the same day or he had to go to the police after he has been asked to go? So to be honest enough, sometimes when you come and preach about somebody who is saying
Sorry,
I'm
was
not
that a
well,
question
I
or is
think
that a lecture now? I thought that was a question
No,
because see,
ABM, please mute your mic.
ingwanata
Mute your
kubuza
mic, ABM.
ndinopinduraka.
ABM, mute your mic so that we can be able to hear
I
freelance.